G'day and welcome to the Grow a Small Business Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Truen. Each week, we speak with an owner who has grown a business with 5 to 30 team members to something bigger. Diving into their numbers and unearthing the pain they've experienced, we explore what they did to overcome each barrier and what they would do differently from day one. Let's get into it.
Well, Dina, thanks so much for making the time to talk today. So you're Director of Business Strategy at Core Digital Marketing. And from what I understand, you help your clients develop marketing strategies that deliver quality leads and clients. So pretty much no reason to explain why that's important. That's a topic that every small business owner is interested in if they're looking to grow their business. So maybe just do a little bit of an introduction into, I guess, what you do, who you work with, and why clients come to you when they look to work with you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here. Our company, Core Digital Marketing, client.com, high-end client program where you see it on my screen. What we do for our small business owners is we've got a system, almost like a machine that literally can be, platformed with LinkedIn or a social media platform. And it will actually allow our business owners to really customize the types of clients that they want brought to them. So we optimize their LinkedIn page, and we have different strategies with videos and webinars and ways we teach them throughout a 12-week period how to do this. And we do it with them. It's not just like, here's the information and go for it. It's done with you. So it takes all the guesswork out. They get a lot of coaching. They get a lot of help with it and a lot of hands-on training on exactly what to do, and have a system that generates clients for them that are their ideal clients for forever.
Fantastic. And like I say, no need to explain why that's of interest to our audience.
Right.
So look, it sounds fantastic. Tell me a bit about the process that you take your clients through to help them achieve that result.
Absolutely. So the first thing we do whenever a client wants to come on board and hear about our program and talk to us, what we have is a breakthrough session with them. So it's about a 90-minute call. And one of our business strategists will be on with them and take some very copious notes and get very deep in with them about their business, how they're generating their business, what's important to them, what type of clients are ideal for them to serve, and really get very dialed in on that. And then once we have all that information and we discover their big why, and what's important to them and how they want to portray themselves and their business, then we can come together, and then we'll go ahead, and once they get into the program, they'll start off with a kickstart call to really get dialed into who that client is, optimize their social media page, their LinkedIn page, if that's what they're using. And really that's at that point in the program, it's very early in, about a week and a half in, they will start seeing clients come in like that they really want to talk to. And the main thing is talking to your target audience often and consistently. That's something that most marketing companies, if you're doing mass marketing and you're marketing to everybody's getting your information, people that need it and people that don't. So the typical business owner or whoever they have on their sales team has to weed through all those clients to figure out, well, is this going to work for this client? Is this going to be a viable lead? And waste a lot of time, to go through all of that and kind of the needle in the haystack kind of thing, like searching to get that right one. Well, this takes all the searching out of it. And this just brings to that business owner their ideal clients so they can work with the people that really want and need their services. So that's really powerful. And it's kind of like spigot on a water faucet. They can turn it up. If they want more, they can turn it down if they want a slower flow. And they control the lead flow and how it comes in. We do some really cool marketing with them too. We build a zero to hero story with them where they can, as the business owner, really talk about what drove them to do that business and why they like serving those clients. And that's another big draw for a client, you know, somebody that wants to, let's say if it was a real estate agent, and there's a lot of real estate agents, why would they choose this real estate agent? Why would they choose this business, this agency? It allows them to stand out and really tell their story of, you know, who they are and why they serve the people they do. So it resonates with their target audience and their clients. So we also have, you know, teach them how to do small videos and how to push those out to their target clients so they can really capture more of their target audience's attention and serve more people. And when you've got consistent, predictable clients coming in that are your ideal clients, business is better, it's more consistent, and growth happens.
Absolutely. I think you make a really good point that we hear quite regularly on this podcast, which is it really does need to start with identifying who that ideal client is. So again, that's really resonating with me. I guess once you've identified the ideal client, I mean, you touched on social media. Do you find that to typically be the most effective way to hone in on how to find those clients, or are there other channels that you tend to prefer?
Well, we do digital marketing. So we focus in on LinkedIn and other social media platforms, LinkedIn being the main one, simply because you've got a, you know, 300 to 400 million people and they're professional people. So if you're an accountant, or if you are a real estate agent or an insurance agent or a consultant, that's probably going to be one of the best places for you. It's not the only place, but it probably be a better place. You know, the median income is usually right around $110,000 and up. It's a more professional platform. People there are looking to do business, either to garner business or to look for somebody that can help them with their business. So it tends to be a good match.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. So perhaps I could get you to talk me through a bit of a hypothetical case study. And it's actually only partly hypothetical because I'm basing this quite closely on a client that I've worked with recently. But this client owns a consulting business, and they consult to clients in the shipping industry. And I guess their ideal client tends to be an operations manager within shipping companies that have budget to spend on business development initiatives. So whether that's improving the efficiency of their operations or expanding the scope of the shipping operations that they're running. This is where I guess this consultancy business tends to do their work. You know, one of their issues is, surprise, surprise, difficulty in finding and attracting enough ideal clients to keep their job flow consistent. So they seem to do some great work, and you know, they may go for a couple of quarters where they have lots of income coming in, and then all of a sudden the income dries up, probably because they've been so busy delivering work that they they've sort of taken their eye off the ball when it comes to finding the next job. Just, I guess, at a high level, tell me how you would see yourselves being able to work with a client like this, and what do you think the typical advice would be for that sort of client?
Well, because our system is automated, we really can get very dialed in with someone with even characteristics of who the type of people they like to work with. So we would dial that in for them and monitor the clients that were coming into their sphere. And if they were not getting enough, then we'd go back in and monitor, okay, maybe we have to broaden that a little bit. So the team would work with them in real time to adjust their system. And every system is customized with what we do. So even if you have two people in the same industry, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to want to work with the exact same client. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but it's really not. Even real estate agents, for example, they sell houses and they think, okay, well, every real estate agent wants everybody that's looking to buy a house. Well, that's not true. Some specialize in higher end homes, some specialize in median, house price homes, and some lower. So it will really depend on what their target audience is. And so what we would do automatically would be really to go in and dial in on who is that client that you want. And if it tends to be too narrow, then we could say, okay, let's broaden that out a little bit. Who else would you like to work with? And really start to broaden their horizons a little bit, so that it would attract in enough that they would get consistent, predictable results.
Find it hard to define a clear strategy, then communicate it and execute it alongside the rest of your team? Or you currently don't work a simple quarterly strategic plan to boost your team's performance? Our Business Growth Formula online course is perfect for small business owners with 5 to 30 team members wanting to grow. We share the mindsets, habits and tools to be a legendary leader in your business. growsmallbusiness.com.
And I guess in your experience, getting the predictable results, and I guess I'm particularly thinking in this example, one of their issues being consistency. Is it just a case of them needing to be more consistent in their marketing to the target client, or are there other factors that may play a role in keeping that job flow working?
There might be other factors, but I think the main factor is consistently targeting the right people, because there's a sphere of influence, right, that every business has. And so your target audience, those people, birds of a feather flock together. So they'll probably know more of your target clients, who will know more of your target clients. So when you're hitting that group of people consistently, that's when expansion happens, because they travel. We seem to travel in the same circles, those of us in the same industries, right? So that's also going to exponentialize growth there as well, because it's the direct as well as the indirect connections that will definitely maximize the opportunities.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. And you're right. It is often in targeting your ideal customer, the more specific you can be, counterintuitively,
right,
more of the right clients you seem to be able to reach out and connect with. So I think that's a really interesting point. Are there any common mistakes you see clients making when they come to you?
Yeah, when we get clients that come to us before they're actually in our program, I think they go with blanket marketing, right? Where they send out, every postcard, or they put out every post, and they're just throwing them out blindly, right? Or they might post something about their company, but it's not optimized, meaning it's not designed to draw people in that are their target clients. So it might be advertising like, hey, this business exists, but it's not given the client a motivation to call them. And that's what we really see a lot of. So when we work with them, that's one of the first things we do is we work on, like, for example, their LinkedIn profile to really optimize it. So almost make it like a lead magnet. So like a magnet that draws in exactly who they want to talk to. And so those people will be attracted to that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a really good point. And I guess along the same lines, if you had one piece of advice, and I know this is always a little bit difficult to hone it in on one piece of advice, but I guess if there was one thing that you could recommend small business owners do when they get back to the office after listening to this podcast, what would that be? What's your one key piece of advice that you think could actually make a difference?
I think really seeking out marketing and coaching, or even business coaching to help with navigating their plan, right? And making sure, probably the first thing would be get a business coach to have a business plan and have that plan include marketing and how that marketing is going to be maximized. And have, working with a business coach is any type of coaching in your life, I think is life-changing. So it's a component that we actually have in our program for our clients that includes, business coaching, because we know the value of having a coach that can come in, and it's somebody from the outside that's taking a complete, detached view, and they're looking and they can see things that the business owner can't see, because, as a business owner, we're stuck in the middle, right? We're kind of in the middle of the whole thing. So sometimes it's not that we're not smart or good at what we do, but when we're doing the same thing over and over and over again, it's hard to see beyond that, right? Because this has been your whole world. So you have somebody coming in that's got a, 10,000 foot view. They're looking at the big picture and they're saying, I see that if you do a little bit here and you do this and you do this, we can make a plan that's going to actually help the growth. So I definitely recommend, if you can get into a program that has some coaching with marketing, ours is unique. It does something like that is fantastic. Or getting a business coach to help you really drive a business plan in place and put some marketing in place. And we never stop marketing, right? We have to always market. I had a coach of mine tell me, no marketing, no money. More marketing, more money.
Couldn't agree more on all the points you've just made there. That's, so true. So tell me, this has been a great introduction into what you do and how you can help. What would be the next step if people are interested to find out a little bit more about you or to get involved with the work that you do? I think you mentioned a strategy session.
Yes, actually, we're offering a complimentary strategy session to anyone listening to the podcast. It's about a $2,000 value. It's a 90-minute strategy session for a business owner, and you'll get to work with one of our business strategists, and they'll work with you and they will get very detailed and drill down deep with you to give you kind of an overview of, like, where are you? What are your needs? Where's your lead flow coming from? Where can it be expanded? If we can help, and if we can't help, point you to a resource that can help. So either way, it'll be a worthwhile 90 minutes. And you can do that by going to bookcallnow.com, and it will automatically pull up a calendar and allow you to book a complimentary business strategy session.
Fantastic. So that was bookcallnow.com.
Yes.
Excellent. Great URL, by the way. You've done well to secure that one. It's,
I have to get to the rest of the leadership team over at High End Client. They do all of the magic.
Yeah, they did well there. Yeah, we'll include that in our show notes so that if anyone wants to look back, they can go to that link, bookcallnow.com.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your time and wisdom with us, Dina. That was really useful. Again, I think you've reiterated a number of common themes that come through in these podcasts around the importance of particularly identifying that target client really clearly. And I can see that you've obviously, your organisation has got a system to help clients work through this, and really appreciate that offer of a strategy session. I'm sure we'll have a few clients pick that up. So thanks again for your time.
Thanks for having me.
And for our audience, we'd greatly appreciate a review in iTunes or whatever platform you listen to us on. More reviews means we bubble up higher in iTunes, etc. So more business owners looking for podcast help with their growth will find us.